everybody, and welcome to the channel. This is David. Hey, before we get started, man, do me that favor, hit that like, that share. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Just a small channel trying to grow. As always, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research. Always do your own research. But hey, this is it's July 30th. We're gonna do a quick stock market recap as we've been coming at you every single day lately. The last few days, just giving you a stock market recap of how today went. We'll touch on a few headlines, any plays that I made today, or any purchases I made. I'll talk about that just a little bit. So, without further ado, not gonna hold you guys up, man. We're gonna jump right into it. Let's look at the S&P today and see how it performed, and we'll go right over to Google Finance. We'll jump right into the S&P. You see the S&P down today slightly, down almost 8 points today, but still sitting at 63, 62.90, which is pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Like I said, year to date up 8% overall year to date. So if you don't know anything else, if you don't know how to invest, um, you don't know where to start, good place to start is right here in the S&P. So if you don't know anything about investing, about stocks, the first step you should do, man, how can I invest in the S&P? Well, you got, the SPY, you got VOO, you got SPLG, you got a few other ways you can invest into the S&P. So, you know, don't make investing too hard where you have the S&P that's been performing for years. Let's see, over the last year, the S&P. Uh, where am I at? Okay, over the last year, the S&P is up 17%, just over the last year. So if you invest in your money into the S&P, you'll be up 17% in the past year. Over the last 5 years, the S&P is up 94%. So, like I said, don't make investing hard. If you don't do anything else, park your money in the S&P. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, but it's just, you know, it speaks for itself. You know what I mean? You don't have to say you've been scammed or, you know, people not teaching you nothing online. Find out this information for yourself. At the very least, you can be invested into the S&P. All right, let's move on. I just went off a little tangent for a second. NASDAQ. NASDAQ is up 31 points on the day, up 0.15%, sitting at 21,129.67. Year to date, the S&P is up 9%. I'm sorry, I'm saying S&P. The NASDAQ is up 9% year to date. Over the last year, the NASDAQ is up 23%. So, if NASDAQ, these tech companies, the Apples, the Microsofts, the Amazon, that's heavily, tech related. It's many different ways you can invest. Over the last 5 years, the NASDAQ is up 96%. So we talk about the S&P, we talk about the NASDAQ. Why don't you have your money invested in the stock market? It's really nothing else to talk about. You can do this on your own. Let's take a look at the Dow. Dow Jones was down today 171 points. Year to date, the Dow is up 4%. Over the last year, the Dow's up 9%. Last 5 years, the Dow's up 68%. So investing is not hard. Investing is not hard, people. Put your money in the market, let the market work for you. Watch your money grow over time. That's just how it works. It's not difficult at all. Investing is not difficult. Investing is not difficult. That's, just I had to say it twice. Just doesn't take but 5 minutes to open a brokerage account. Look to invest in the S&P, look to invest in the NASDAQ, and you'd be good to go. ETFs for the NASDAQ, you got QQQ, you got QQQM. It's a variety of ways you can invest in the S&P, invest in the NASDAQ. So there's really no excuse not to be investing. So just doing our regular recap of the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ. Let's jump right into Yahoo Finance. Let's take a look at some of these headlines for today. Yahoo Finance app. The apps have downloaded on your phone and just follow the money throughout the day. See what's going on. See how this stuff works from a day-to-day basis. It helps you get more comfortable with where you need to invest your money. So, the Yahoo Finance, we come right into it. The S&P pulled up there. So we got some news here. I don't see that. Let's get back to the home screen if we can. Here we go. So let's take a look at some of these articles here. Trump announces trade deal with South Korea featuring 15% tariff rate. Okay. Let's just click on it for a quick second here. We'll read through it briefly. Trump tariffs. Trump announces trade deal with South Korea featuring 15% tariff. President Trump on Wednesday announced a trade deal with South Korea. The agreement includes a 15% tariff rate on imports from the country, while the U.S. will not be charged a tariff, according to Trump's post on social media. So take that for what you may. South Korea will be completely open to trade with the United States, the president wrote, adding that they will accept American products, including cars and trucks, and agriculture, etc. Okay, let's go back here. Here is a big news from the day. You know, Jerome Powell spoke today, and a lot of people was waiting to see what may have happened with the Fed decision. And he says Powell stresses no decisions made on September cut as Feds hold rates steady. You know, of course, that's going against what the president wants to happen. We know the president's been pushing for interest rates cuts, but Jerome Powell, you know, he doesn't go by what the president says. He goes by what he thinks is best, you know, for the economy. The Federal Reserve held interest rates steady Wednesday for the fifth meeting in a row as two Fed governors, the Senate, underscoring the division within the central bank over the potential impact of President Trump's tariffs. Central bank's policymakers voted to maintain the Fed's benchmark interest rate in the range of 4.25 to 4.5%, as they have throughout 2025, after cutting rates by a full percentage point last fall. So I think the markets kind of reacted to the Fed's holding steady. I think you saw a little dip in the market afterwards, and you know that's just how things can happen, how decisions can affect the stock market. So, but yeah, that was a big thing today. What else we have? We had some big earnings today. So Microsoft shares jump. I hate Yahoo Finance. I love Yahoo Finance, but I hate them as well because this site is it jumps around. But look, Meta stock pops on earnings beat, guidance surprise. Microsoft shares jump as earnings beat, highlight strength in AI and cloud. So I looked at both of these companies. I do own both. I own a little bit of Meta, and I'm gonna tell you, one of my biggest mistakes as an investor a few years ago was selling my Meta shares. If I had to turn back the hands of time, I'll still be holding. I had a little bit of Meta. I had quite a bit. Well, I ain't gonna say quite a bit, but it was enough shares to it'd be really popping right now, based off the price. So I have a little bit of Meta. My son has more shares than me actually. And Meta, I saw it pop after the earnings today. So we'll look for a big Meta's pop on tomorrow. Microsoft as well. Microsoft shares jump on earnings beat, highlight strength in AI and cloud. Another, those are two of the biggest companies, man. Two of the top dogs, Meta and Microsoft. When you got earnings with Apple's coming around the corner, you got Amazon, I think it's tomorrow. So, you want to kind of stay in tune on what the big boys earnings reports look like. So Some more headlines. Apple faces two major threats ahead of its earnings. Ford stock sinks as earnings reveal $800 million tariff hit. Wow. So that shows you how the tariffs can affect some of these companies. So, man. eBay rises as consumer resilience drives upbeat sales forecasts. Man, anybody still use eBay? I'm pretty sure they do. I don't think I've ever used eBay in my life, but we know eBay has been around for quite some time. Qualcomm slides after posting lackluster growth in phone market. And like I said, it's tariff season. I mean, not tariff season. It is tariff season, but it's earnings season. So a lot of these companies are reporting earnings, and then you kind of see how they've done over the last quarter. Kind of lets you know what the short term, and even long term direction of the company. How it's heading. So very important times right now. So especially if you invested in a company, you want to see how they're, what their financials looking like, what their outlook look like, after each quarter, and that's what earnings is all about. So some more articles. Why NVIDIA could be the biggest tech winner of the one big beautiful bill. Okay. Grab Holdings beat quarterly revenue estimates. What else we got? Trump hits India with 25% tariff, threatens more over Russia. So yeah, that's just some of the articles here. You can find them on Yahoo Finance. You can read through them in detail. Like I said, we just doing a recap here. But yeah, man, a lot of things happening. A lot of things happening, especially during earnings season. Let's go down and see what was some of our top gainers in the market today. Let's see if we can get down. Did I pass them up? I think I did. There we go. So we had some top gainers in the market. Wingstop. Okay, Wingstop is trading at 368. Wow. It was up 26% today. FTAI, I've never heard of that. Aviation up 26% today. P3 Health Partners up 25% today. And GNRC up 19%. TER up 18%. Okay. Some good gainers today. When I look at these, I don't mean that, just because I see them the top daily gainer, I mean, I'm about to go buy this stock. That's not how it works. But if you want to go do some research on a position because you've seen it's done well over throughout the day or over the past week or the past month, you can do that. Go do some research and see if it's a possible position that you may want to add to your portfolio. Let me see. I'm gonna look for some top losers today. We'll see it right over here in the corner here. NEGG. I feel like I've been talking about that one for a while here. Down 19, basically 20% today. Avis down 15%. Is it Silicon Holdings down 15%? Checkpoint down 14%. ENTG down 14%. So you see most active stocks here: Sophie, Nvidia, Lucid, Tesla, Ford, all in the red besides Nvidia. Nvidia was up today 2%. So it's just kind of a little insight on some of the the biggest gainers, the losers, and some of the most active stocks for the day. And for me, I did make some small purchases today. I made a small purchase, 2 small purchases in my Sun account, based off our bi-weekly deposit we made. So I bought a little bit of JEPQ for him, JEPQ, added to that position for him, added to his Costco position. That was a small Costco position for him, but it's done really well. So we just added a few dollars to that as well today. So those were the only 2 purchases I made today. We didn't receive any dividends today. Expecting to receive some Thursday. Then Friday, the 1st, is going to be a big day. It's going to be a big day in dividends. So I'm looking forward to that on this coming Friday. But no dividends received today. And as far as options, we did open we sold a cash secure put. So we opened a position on Sophie today. We collected $36 in premium. So that was good for us. So we'll see how that position moves. We just saw that Sophie was down for the day. So I think that's a good time when the stock is down to look for cash secured puts while it's down, hoping, it goes back up in time, which I think it will. So we opened up a cash secured put, went out for about a month on it, collected some premium. I think Sophie is going to do pretty well. I think our strike price was about $19, and so I feel pretty confident um, in that cash secure put. So we'll see how that goes. Well, I do cover calls and cash secure puts. Cover calls, you have to have 100 shares of a position. Cash secure puts, you have to have the cash to purchase 100 shares. So that's the difference between the two of how you can open them up. So, but yeah. So that's pretty much a recap of the day. Let me know what you guys think. Leave me some feedback in the chat. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try to be consistent with these stock market recaps, but I do appreciate your feedback, man. If you're not, at the very least, man, leave a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel, share the channel. I really appreciate it. And until next time, man, I will see you guys later.